Hi, Jessica and Don. I'm Jennifer Zhang from Impact. I'm the GM for Greater China. So it's really a pleasure to have both of you on the panel. Influencer marketing has become a very, very hot subject globally. And just to mention, actually, in China, we've been in China just for 2 years in this market. And then a couple of weeks ago, we were in a cross-border China Out, we call it cross-border industry event, where when companies think about going to global markets, they think about influencers first. So on top of like the partnership marketing, but inside the partnership economy, they think about influencer marketing. So it's really great to have both of you on the panel. I guess I wanted to learn from you, where did your influencer journey start? I guess you can both give yourself a little introduction and then and start there.
A little introduction about myself. I'm Dawn, better known as That Mom of Four. My foray into Instagram or social media really started because of my previous job, where I was with Lululemon, and I was using Instagram for the filters that they had. Just so that we could be posting up, the weekly product shots that we always had to put up. So, using social media to share about, the new drops that we had, because we were only a showroom when we first started. That was the main, one of the main reasons why I started using Instagram. And then, later on, then I started to use that for myself. So before it was just really to post for Lululemon for Singapore, and then I started using it for myself. And then I started sharing about, fitness, family, and I never knew what influencers were. I never knew what influencer marketing was till some PR firms that were already asking me to hey, you want to join us for this event, join us for that event. I'm like, yeah, sure, it'll be fun, And then I realized that, hey, it's actually marketing. And then they're like, yeah, you're an influencer. I'm like, what's that? So this was quite a number of years ago. I think in 2015 that this all first started for me. So shortly after I gave birth to my fourth daughter, and then I had my own studio coming up. That's when I became even more active using Instagram and Facebook, to post up things other than just my kids. So yeah, it really all just started from there, and just really sharing about what things were going on in my life, what I'm doing as a parent, what I'm doing as a fitness personality, because I've been in fitness for over 22 years, teaching for 22 years. But before that, my background actually is in marketing, but fitness is a passion. So that's what I've always been doing since I graduated, being in the fitness industry. So, just putting stuff online was just really sharing about what I'm doing and who I am, versus just fashion. It was never something like that for me, but just this exercise is what I'm doing today. You want to try it? Join me. This is where my kids and I are going today. And that's what we're doing. So if it's fun, go and try. But it was never to get anything in return, but just to share information like that. So just really just like pieces of our life that I thought would be interesting to others. So that's just how I started.
Wow, that's really impressive. I'm a mother of one and I can barely handle it. You're a mother of four. Amazing. And I can already see you have a great shape just from the, your athletic kind of fitness. I know, it's like, wow, that's the profile I've always wanted. It's not that easy. So, and then I want to go to Jessica. How, can you give us introduction of yourself and how you started this journey? Yeah.
Sure. So just a short introduction. I'm a co-founder of VIP Parents. So VIP Parents is a new business unit, a new company under Tickled Media, theAsianparent. We are known as theAsianparent, which is the largest parenting media and community across Southeast Asia. So we are in 7 countries in Asia, actually. We're also in India. And but our core market is in Southeast Asia. And actually, I joined this company 3 years ago, but only like around 1.5 years ago, the founder think, oh, we should definitely look into influencer space because it's happening, right? So we end up building this SaaS platform, software as a service platform, under the wings of the Asian parent. So we have engineers working from India to build the software, and within like 1.5 years, we built the software, and then we launched it right away. And within like 6 months, I think we already have like a lot of clients coming in, and it's already going like profitable as well. Like, you know, as a new business, is going very fast.
Right.
And we can see it's been expedited by the changes, changes of like landscape as well due to COVID. So COVID really makes influencers much more like attractive for brands. So we really see it. And so far we have around 48,000 members across Southeast Asia. And within 1 year, we've accomplished 48,000 members, and mostly it's coming from cross-channeling from the Asian parent, because we already have like a high followings in websites, in website and social as well, and also in apps. So we cross-channel the traffics, and we're getting a lot of the members to join in as our VIP parents. So as VIP parents, the way that like our members can join is to have at least 500 followings in their Instagram. So it's not just for the higher tier influencers, it's also for the lower tier influencers like nano and real parents as well. And we only focus on parents, since we are parenting media ourselves. So we only focus on the very niche segments. And that's why like Dawn is one of our member as well. Like she's one of our VIP parents, and we really work a lot with Dawn as well. She's been helping us a lot in the speaking session as well, because she's a very great speaker, and she's very, as you can see, she looks very good as well. So yeah, so in terms of the software itself, we're making it very easily for brands to work with influencers. So we manage all the campaigns. So when it used to be in the old days, you work in the agency level, where you work like you contact the influencer one by one, and it's a lot of ding dong. But like now, it's all happening online. It's all happening in our apps. So brands can scale campaigns to hundreds and thousands of influencers, and also real parents within like very short timeline.
Wow, impressive. Congratulations to your business growth. And I think the next question is to you, and also to Dawn. The first is in terms of your Asian parent, how do you actually work with your top influencers? Like, what is your process, and how do you select them? How do they join your network? I guess and then from Dawn's perspective, you know, you are an ambassador and an influencer to a few brands now. So do you have a set of criteria you work with, like what kind of brands you want to work with? You know, how do you, integrate with these brands and then promote on social media platforms? So do you have any criteria to select the brands you want to work with? I guess this question is like, because I started out first, is because I don't know when the renovation noise is going to start. So I wanted to get you guys talking, and then to avoid that, I'm going to be on mute. So I want to make sure we don't get interrupted. Yeah. So that's to both of you. I guess Jessica can talk about how you work with influencer first.
So I think the way we select the influencers is really knowing like the kind of strategy that the brand is looking for. So it's all about the strategy first. What kind of product? So once we know exactly what is the product, what is the objective of the campaign, what do they want to achieve within like a short time or long term, then we will send them like a proposal somehow. And all of that is very in a strategic level, right? Like whether it's top level or not. And then after that, then we can select the influencers which really suitable for the brands. So each brand is looking for like different things, right? So a lot of our brand partners, they're all like big FMCG clients, and a lot of them as well is mother and baby clients. So this kind of brand is really looking for like more towards premium profiles whenever they work with influencers. And if you're working a lot with like brands like milk formula, for example, they don't want to share their influencer as well. So they will always ask, can you look for influencer that haven't worked with the other competitive brands? So it's making us harder to find the selection of the profile as well. And they do have their own trait as well, their own brand persona. So this is one thing that we need to really care about as well. So Nivea, for example, we're looking for a certain persona, right? Which is different from like other like skincare products. So it's really depending on their brand persona, which is what we're looking for as well. That's second. And then the third, I think it will be the filtering. So different product is targeting for different customer segment. So for example, milk formula for baby, right? They will only target moms with kids age 1 till 3. So we really need to find like a young moms who can be their influencers, and also like have followers that's also have the same kind of like age of kids as so does the influencer. So filtering is really important as well for us to determine the influencers. And I think the fourth as well, to actually really knows what is the activities, because some activities require a higher tier following of influencers like Dawn, and some activities as well, maybe just attending events and all, they only require like lower tier influencers. And so the brands just invite like a lot of like maybe 100 of like smaller influencers, right? And they will all attend it. So it really depends on what they're doing, you know, and really on like what's the strategy and how we can achieve the overall goals for the clients. Then we will select the influencers. In terms of the influencer profile in our end as well, we have a diverse kind of profiles. I know we are very much like focusing on parents, but also we have different kind of parents. We have housewife, we have entrepreneur like Dawn, like professional like Dawn. We have like different kind of profiles that the brand can choose. We even have like dads as well. So that's like very like they're very like online savvy dad, you know, like so like we have a lot of kind of profiles. So yeah, so I think holistically it's really knowing like what the brands want and what's their objective. Then we can select the right influencers.
Interesting. Actually, Dawn, before we go to you, actually a question I have for Jessica is, when you're working with so many influencers, how do you manage your workload? Like, how big is your team? Like, do you actually use automation tools to help you engage with influencers? That's like a huge pool of partners, right? You're working with. I'm curious on how you're working through your productivity.
Yes.
Wondering, if you're actually do anything with productivity tools for managing the influencers.
I think so far now we're just using our own software, which is a campaign management software to manage all the influencers together. So this is what I mentioned as well with this software that we built. So this is our in-house built software. Actually, our software engineer in India is the one that built it. It's making us like manage the influencer more easily. So it's very scalable when you use the software. Where it used to be on the old days, or if it used to be if maybe like you're getting the influencer from agencies, right? It's a lot of it is very much manual negotiation, and it's taking like a lot of times. So it will be frustrating for the campaign managers to handle it, and also frustrating for the influencers themselves, right? Because they have a lot of questions and it's unclear, and it's just really it's like a market, right? It's like it's like you're bartering stuff. But like with our softwares, it's a lot faster. So we built in software that's available in desktop and also apps, where our users, our members, from lower to higher tier followers, they can just look at the brief, they can just read it, and if they want to participate, they can just click okay, apply, you know. And all of the budgeting and all how much they're getting paid is also there, and all the timeline is very neatly presented there as well. So once they finish, there will be like another notifications, and so everything is very organized on the campaign, and it's really customizable as well. So different campaigns we can customize at our end as well. So it's a lot faster, and we also trying to integrate some payment system as well. So payment system, obviously, if we don't build ourselves, we're using a lot of different kind of partner like PayPal and all, and integrate it with a different kind of like voucher vendors as well, like which we're trying to experiment, like Grab voucher, Shopee voucher. We're trying to experiment with like working with them as well, so they can get paid via a different channel. So I think the only way to scale campaigns to all these influencers is really by this software, like this influencer software. So it's not just us who built it, I think. So I think a lot of other companies have built the same kind of software as well. Like well, we are a publisher, we are a media player, right? So we build our own software. But I know there's like a lot of other influencer focused company that all they do is just influencers and they build their own software. And I think Dawn has experienced it as well. So Dawn can give like her
sure.
on working
Yeah,
with
I was
kind of tools.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because our company Impact is a partnership, has a partnership automation, platform. We also have just acquired a company called Activate. It does all the KOL management. You can recruit them and stuff. So I was going to say, if you haven't had one, maybe you can look at ours. But I don't mean to turn this into a sales pitch call. But so it's more want to learn from your perspective. As Dawn, it's your turn to share with us as an authentic. You want to keep your authenticity, your personality as an influencer. You engage with multiple brands. So I guess a couple questions I have there for you is, how do you ensure you keep your own authenticity and not giving to certain brands identity, what they want you to do versus who you are, right? And then how do you select the brands and making sure you really love them, and then so you can give your genuine voice to the consumers? So I guess, and then what kind of social platforms you're using you think is most effective, or so I guess that's enough for you to elaborate.
Thank you, Jennifer. So for me, it's a lot to do with the people who follow me on my social media platforms, especially on Facebook. These are people who know me personally, who are my friends, my family, my students. So if I were to put something out that is not me, they would call me out. Not that they've done it before, but I mean, I don't want to have to go to that stage. And these are people whom I know me for who I am, and they follow me because of that reason. So if I were to talk about something that is really not what I would use, off the bat, what can I talk about? Like if I were to talk about, something that I would never use, say,
insurance.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, something that obviously is not something I would use. I would definitely lose followers, I know, or I don't want to have to go to the point where people start questioning, like why are you doing this? This is not you, and stuff like that. I mean, we've all seen it in the news as well, and I've had friends who have gone through that before. So I'm glad that I never had to go through that kind of experience. I've had to say no to many requests as well, like where brands this is recorded. I don't know if you want to take it out later. But,
no, I want to hear. Really toys. Really authentic.
Yeah, adult toys, or like maybe a shapewear that I don't wear those things. And it's not that it's not something that is embarrassing, but I just don't use it. And then I also tell my students, like build up your own core. Don't depend on too much of the support wear, especially after you've given birth. Wear it for a short while, yes, but after that, use do the exercise and or for example, diet pills. I would tell my students not to use it as well, because the harm is just there are just too many risks involved as well. So yes, I've also been approached by diet pill companies, and I'm like, no, I can't talk about it. So yeah, I just have to say no to many things as well. And sometimes it's also like, when you asked this question earlier, like, when I work with certain brands, and if not the things are not laid out, say the deliverables or the agreement is not laid out, then it's also asking for trouble. And I've also had to clarify many things with some brands as well. So say for example, like I'm only committed to doing something like this, and then they're like, oh, can you continue to do this? I'm like, but this is not in the the agreement. We didn't agree on something like that. And I felt like if they're taking advantage of it, I would just say no as well, although I'm somebody who loves to go an extra mile to help. But when it comes to certain brands where they try to take advantage, then you just have to say no, and not be afraid to burn a bridge. Of course you have to say no in a nice way, but I also think about the effect that that would have on the overall influencer industry. If everybody were to just say, oh yeah, I'll do it because I need that content, so I'll do it for you, for everybody for free, then that just kills the whole industry.
Yeah.
So to a certain extent, yes, we have to, you know, create content, and some of them, some budding influencers will need to get started with that. But if you know, in the long run, if everybody just continues to you know, just do stuff without building the industry and the credibility of it, then I think that actually will just cause the whole influencer industry to topple. So yes, saying no to certain instances, and just making sure that we stand our ground in some cases as well. It's just really important. So with the brands that I work with, it definitely has to go through a filter for me, where I know that I will use it, and I know that people who read it will also agree that, yeah, she would definitely use that. But I'm also mindful about working with you know, competitors of some brands. Say for example, milk powder. If you've looked at my Instagram page, you would probably see that I only work with Enfagrow, because that really is what my kids grew up with. And I didn't let them use many other brands. So if I were to suddenly 2 months later, I'm like, yeah, so I now I'm promoting another milk brand, my kids never took that. So I can't speak about it. And whenever my students ask me as well, I'm like, yeah, I just recommend this brand to you because that's what my kids use. So that authenticity is something that I do stand by in what I do. And I think that's what my followers trust me on as well. Like if I don't use it, or if I don't believe in it, I won't talk about it.
Awesome. That is actually a great example for the industry. You know, we in our partnership economy, we always talk about building trust with consumers, building the circle of trust with your audience, and through partnerships. So you would be a great partner to a brand of the similar value, right? Sharing the same value, and then you can, you know, they can tap into your trust circle, really engage with your audience and get that brand's potential growth in there. So it's really awesome to hear your perspective. And I hope the influencer industry have more people like you. So it will be a very healthy space. I'm not very familiar. Yeah, because it's really true. Earlier this week, I had a conversation with our CEO. He mentioned that in the US, they held a panel with a wine brand, which is very successful wine brand. And in that brand, the folks were talking about the values, like when they engage with partners, they want the partners who share the similar values to the company to be able, not only about selling products, it's more for the long-term growth and engagement with the partners. So it's really great to hear what you just shared. It's awesome. It's so authentic. It's really great. Thank you. It's really awesome. And I guess next question is to Jessica. Because the pandemic, so the last couple of years, the world has been kind of just changed, right? So how have you seen the engagement, you know, with your members, and have that pandemic changed the way you work with your members, with influencers, and with your brands? So want to hear your perspective on that.
I think in terms of pandemic, we really see a lot of changes actually. So I will start first with the brands. So in the brands itself, we see that now after the pandemic, they cannot do any more of high production, like, you know, like all of these a very expensive TV commercial production, all this digital content, which require shooting outdoor and and require like over 30, over 100 crew members in one go. It's not possible anymore because everybody's in lockdown, as you know. So I think when the start of the pandemic happens, within a few months, brands just realize, oh no, I can't do like any more of my own content, like, you know, so what do I do now? So I think what they do in the end is they do their own like online kind of like content as well. So like they will record like one person is doing this and another person in another like location doing that, like, you know, or it's just a very small kind of production, right? And then after that, they're thinking, hey, you know, we can actually engage with influencers. We can actually engage with users. They can create the content that we need. So that's when we started to see, after a few months, there's a shift of budget to influencers. That's one. And also, second, we see there's a shift of budget of events as well, because it used to be they can sponsor on a lot of events, right? There's different kind of events that's approaching them, that's asking for sponsorship, or they do their own events, right? And since the pandemic started, we can't do any more events. So it's all the events that's just been canceled, right? Or postponed. So, and also the one that's postponed, in the end, it becomes canceled because nothing is happening anymore, right? So there's just like a very few events that's happening depending on the location, right? So we've seen a shift of budget moving to online events. So this is what we've been trying to popularize as well in VIP parents. So I saw that. So I took the momentum and I took the opportunity as well. And I said to the brand, hey, since you're not spending on the events anymore, why don't you bring your event online? No, and we'll just give you the attendees that you need. So so we start to do like a lot of online events in the end with different kind of brands. And we will invite like big KOL, for example, higher tier following KOL like Dawn as a speaker, maybe get like invite another health expert or any other expert in the segment. And then we will bring all the VIP members, VIP parents member from our end to attend the events, and also amplify it in our other channels, right? Like social media channels and website and all. So that gets really high engagement, because I think a lot of the people now, they're bored at home, they're stuck in lockdown. So there's not much entertainment than like going to Netflix or like going to gaming and all this kind of online thing, right? So we saw a lot of the users end up like getting like accustomed to it. So they're getting like they're excited about the events, because that's the only way they can they can see other moms, other parents. They can ask questions, they can meet the expert they need. So yeah, so this is really interesting. So that's from the brand side. In terms of from the member side, we also see a lot of members signing up online, because I think the pandemic really changes the economy of the people as well. So this is actually part of our vision. So our vision and our mission is actually to improve the social capital of parents. So we want to improve their economy. We want them to not just earn extra income from us, but we also want them to be smarter. We also want to equip them with skills. So we've been doing a lot of training skills for them. We've been doing a lot of community events so they can meet each other. So you can see really like they feel like happier. So, and they also feel very grateful to us, because we provide them an avenue, like a platform for them to connect to each other, to actually become the better version of themselves and to actually learn new skills, right? So we really see everything is happening online as well. So I think if there's no pandemic, we will like host in-person events, right? But since there's no pandemic, so everything is happening online, which also means we can do more events, because online events is basically there's not much cost, right? So it's just like Facebook Live or in Zoom, and then we just invite them, right? And we can get like a lot of different speakers across all countries. So we do this speaking session across all countries as well, across our 6 markets, including Singapore. So we really see them being very excited, and they also refer their friends to join us. So a lot of the moms get really excited, and they become our advocates, and then they ask their friends to join. So a lot of our member traffic, actually the first channel that we get is not actually from paid media, is not from the Asian Parent, but actually is from referral, is from social referral, because the moms are really happy as part of our members. They feel the benefit, and then they just ask their friends to join. So I think in terms of brand and the user side, from the influencer side, it's been very good for us this past year. So actually the pandemic is not a bad thing for us. It's actually helping our business grow even more. You know, some business is going down because of the pandemic, right? Whereas like our business is actually going up. We really see the demand in both of the supply and demand, like from the client side and from the member side as well.
That's awesome. Do you happen to have also a lot of the parents from China, or is this exclusively more Southeast Asia?
So the Asian parent is actually just in Southeast Asia. We're just very focused in Southeast Asia because I think there's already like another big competitor in China, and that's why we don't want to enter the market. Yeah, and there's a competitor in like US and Europe as well. So we very much focus on Southeast Asian parents only. And,
okay,
yeah.
Cool. I understand. Yeah, it can be messy when you start competing, but I like it. You're very focused. That way, you can be very deep in the market. Your root, is much deeper. Then you can get like the top influencer like Dong on here, so authentic, got great values and good quality. I think it's really important.
So I think what differentiate us with like other agency as well. Other agency, they do like different kind of segments. So it's all like it's all very generic in the influencers. So they only giving you the tools, right? Whereas I think for us, we are a community of parents. So we are not just running the campaign, but we also connect the parents. So the parents know each other. So it's like a community. So that's why I guess it's much more interesting for certain brands that's targeting parents.
That is very special. That's so special. When I first had my child, I only have one daughter in the US, and I wasn't part of any of this community. It was really lonely time.
Very lonely.
Very lonely time without the parents helping. You didn't know how to do many things. So it's like everything is first time. It would be lovely to have someone to follow, say, hey, how do I do this? How do I change a diaper for the first time? I didn't even know how to feed, the milk bottle anyway. So it's great. I think it's a great value you guys are doing. I guess, how much time we have? We have another 20 minutes. I still have a few more questions. I love speaking with you too. And I love to get more information, sharing from you. And I guess next question I do have is for Dong. So when you work with so many social media platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, so have you found like which channel is more effective for you, or do you have a preference, or do you see any trends like on this platform in these years, because you've been doing it for some time?
To get things straight first, I actually started off with blogging before I even started with Instagram. And this all began because I gave birth to my two older girls in France. And this was before Facebook came about. This is before Instagram came about. So my sister, who used to travel a lot, my older sister, she actually backpacked around the world. She was the one who got me into blogging. So she's like, you're going to France, you have to let us see how the kids grow up, because I was there for 4 years. So I blogged for the 4 years that I was there to let my family see how the girls were growing up. And then when 2007 came about, that was when I started with Facebook. And then that was just like, oh, now I can upload all my photos so quickly and just like at one shot, just let them all see the pictures of the kids. And then I shared later on that Instagram was only because I began my job with Lululemon. But right now, I have to say, I still blog occasionally, and that allows me to put more detailed information online for brands that I work with. So like, just a lot more in-depth review and information. So the kind of information I like to put out is more educational or more informative. And Instagram does allow me to do that to a certain extent, although it's not as comprehensive as blogging. But I do still make it a point, like, whatever I try to put out, it's still information that's useful and relevant for people, versus just like, oh, here's my outfit of the day and that's it. So so there has to be something that adds value to others, and that's one of my key points whenever I try to put something out, and or to make a difference to somebody's day. So initially and until till today, Instagram still is the main platform that I use, although many brands would ask me to, can you mirror it, or can you put it onto your Facebook as well? But at the moment, I'm getting more requests to ask, like, even from government organizations, they're asking, can you put this, or is this an option for us to have you share it on TikTok as well? TikTok is not something that I'm very active in yet, although I am going to start building it up. I have to. There are more and more requests coming in for TikTok. YouTube, I've always used it more to, like, share the workout videos, as well as, like, occasionally workshop videos that I put up. But the main one I would say is still Instagram and Facebook. Yeah. followed by blogging. But yes, TikTok is really up and coming. So that's something that I have to work on now to build up.
Yeah, TikTok is very addicting for the younger folks. They're constantly on there. They can be like staying at home and watching 3 hours of those short videos, 15-second videos. I'm like, wow, that's amazing how much content on there. So yeah, I guess one of the things I wanted to share with you is like, in China, there are literally millions of China brands like wants to cross border and export into global markets. And many of these top brands are looking into influencer marketing to help them grow the global markets. So for brands like this, I guess for brands in general, do you have some advice for them in how to engage with influencers, how to work with influencer agencies? I guess from both of your perspective, would love to hear your perspective on that.
Well, for me, usually when the bigger brands come to inquire to see if I'm keen to work together, one of the things that they will ask is, can we have your demographics? Can we have a screenshot of the insights of your demographics and the engagement? So they want to see like, the past 9 or 12 posts that I've had, to do a screenshot to share with them, like the interaction, the engagement that I have, what's the the numbers like. So I just print screen everything and I share it with them, and they just decide after that, versus just looking at the number of followers that I have. All the information is there for them to see, like how many comments, or what's the engagement rate that I have, and that includes the stories that I have as well. How many people actually do click through the links that I put up, and inquiries that I have through all those posts that I put up also. So I think this is a much better judgment to see, how well your post would do with this particular influencer versus, just people. I think there's a difference between you could have 2 different influencers with the same number of followers. But to make sure that you do have that kind of engagement or that kind of interaction of the influencer together with their followers, that makes a much bigger impact versus just someone who just puts out information and people do see it, but there's not much interaction like with the influencer and his or her community. I do believe very much in like building up that trust and that community, even as an influencer. So it's not just look at this and then that's it, but look at this, and if you have questions, feel free to ask me. I will actually answer it. So that's something that I do pride myself in. I do spend some time to answer the inquiries and to help people through like the questions that they do ask. So don't be shy, and just drop me a DM if you have further questions to ask about something like that.
And Jessica, what about from more of the agency influencer network perspective? How would you advise the brands? What for them not to do, when they come to you for, hey, want to work with you, what not to do, what to do, what's the tips to get the best influencers to work for them? I mean, I guess that's the key, right? For them all want to work with the top influencers. Yeah.
I think first of all, like a lot of the brands just want to spend their budget, right? So whenever like they just want to spend it because they have budget like in this limited time that they want to spend, and they end up just doing like different kind of like channel mix in the end, and where it's just like, oh, okay, let's just do like one-off influencer posting, right? And then in the end, like the influencers that they're engaging is just like a regular influencers, and maybe it's suitable, but maybe it's not as well, and they're just posting like one-off posting whatever the brand wants them to present, right? And it doesn't really like affect. It's not really effective, I feel, and that's why like, I keep telling the brands, whenever you want to run an influencer campaign, try to be genuine, try to really know what your consumer really wants, and try to find the consumer through the influencer's channel, right? And not just posting, also try to do like different kind of activities as well, like when you engage with influencers, since you're already doing the spend, right, since you're already spending the budget, might as well like do it more comprehensive, right? For example, like you can do a lot online events with the influencers, or you can get them to do some challenge, or you can bridge between the influencers and their followers to do certain kind of contests. You can also ask their followers to the influencers and the followers to download your apps and actually review your apps or review your product and share your genuine testimonials. So not just a one-off posting of like, hey, this is the product and it's very hard selling, and you're just showing the product, like, the influencer just showing the product in their photos. I tried this is good, like, just like this kind of thing doesn't really relate to the followers, right? It doesn't really relate to the consumers. They'll be like, oh, this is just another ads. So if you're doing like if the brands are doing that, so might as well you just spend it on Facebook ads, right? Because Facebook ads is cheaper than influencer, right? So you don't need another medium to tell you that this brand is good. You don't need like another advocates, right? So you just like it's just like another banner, like, so it's just like it's the same as you are doing banner ads in Facebook and Google. So when you engage with influencers, it's a different medium. It's a medium for you, for brands, to actually find the right advocates, to find the right persona. And not just that, maybe it's not just persona, right? Maybe you want to do activities like online events, or you need like certain group of moms to comment on your posts, or you need them to do like some performance activities. You can do all of that, right? But really just ensure what is your main objective, right? And that's why there's agencies like us, like a platform like us, media companies like VIP Parents as well, which role is to advise clients, right? Not just on execution level, but also on the strategic level, to really advise them what's the market is like, to really find out what the consumer is wanting, and really try to create an end-to-end journey, right, for the consumer and for the product and the brands as well. So I think that's mostly what I feel is lacking nowadays.
Yeah, I really love both of your perspective. It just feels like it's not just in it for the business only, but you're truly providing value to the consumer and the brands. I think that is really valuable. And then this is the kind of business I think it's built to last. You can actually continue with this value, with this type of idea, ideology. So it's really amazing. And I guess we have about a few minutes left. What I wanted to get your perspective on is about, what are you excited about for the influencer space? What are you looking forward to? What's coming next? Kind of forward thinking statement in the next 3 to 5 years, at least, how you see the space will evolve, for in the global, macro sense, and then maybe also for the Asia Pacific space. Love to hear, because I'm new to the space. So
well, for me, I think I do see for many people who are stuck at home right now, and the current situation that we have with the pandemic, experience is something that's really lacking for many of us now. We can't travel, we can't go to places. So it's really living, through others' eyes, through others, wherever they are, I can see what's going on right there. You're on the ground. Show me what it's like to be, for example, a tourist in that place, because I really can't go there. Even if I wanted to pay tons of money, I can't go there right now. So I think that sharing of the experience, and not just a product, it's something that's going to grow, in my opinion, because I do have students, or I do have followers who are like asking me, hey, can you show me more about this thing right here, what's so great about this particular place that you just went to, because these are people who are in Japan, or they're people in KL, and right here we're like, oh yeah, so I would take as much footage as I can, or videos, and I'll just share it. And I do see a lot more interaction with people who are asking, because they can't be there, or they can't experience that. So I do think that something like that is really going to grow.
And Jessica, what about your perspective?
I really see this space. It will there's a lot of things that it can be. It will be like a evolutionary, like a level, right? So it can bridge it to another type of business model. So I think what we're looking after the influencers as well is social selling and reselling. I think that's going to be like the next level after influencers. Because right now I think the brands are using the influencers in the awareness and engagement level, right? They're not really using it in conversion. Well, I know Impact is doing on conversion level as well, but and it's really working. But I see it in the future. I think brands will use the channels more like how China does it as well. You know, like I think influencers and social media in China is really integrated between the visual side of the business and also the shopping side of the business, right? Because the social media there is really allowing the user to do that. So when they see like influencers wearing, for example, like some clothes brands, then they can buy it right away, right? Whereas like I think in the other part of the world, especially in Southeast Asia, we are adopting the behavior from America, right? Because a lot of the social media here, most of it comes from America, like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest. And only one social media, which is TikTok, comes from China, right? So I know that like Instagram has launched their shopping features, but I'm not too sure like how is it going. So I think they're still experimenting on that. I just see like all of these Silicon Valley platform. I think they will all move to a conversion-driven funnel. I think they're all trying to. So I'm seeing the trend going that way, and while also still maintaining the awareness level. Because again, like you know, like if you're just pushing traffic to conversion and no one is buying, it's the same thing as well, right? So you will really need still the influencer itself, the persona itself, to really build the brand, to really engage with the user. So I think the top level funnel awareness and engagement is still very important. And that's one thing. And then the second thing I feel it's the trend moving to is to automation as well. So as you can see, technology is one of the core of our industry nowadays, right? So even ourselves, we brand ourselves not agency, we brand ourselves like tech platform. So I think all of this adoption will be happening to a lot of different sectors, right, of the influencers industry. So I think it'll be much more automated. And right now, I feel our platform is still a long way to go to being like a very acceptable platform. Even I talk to like a lot of the founders, a lot of the other business owner of the influencers agencies, right? They're all saying, oh, this is not really like self-serving yet, which means you still need like campaign managers, you still need some other people to manage the campaigns, because a lot of the brands wants to get service, right? And they don't want to run it themselves. I'm seeing that like in the long run, I feel like this will all go self-service for top brands. Of course, they will still need people to run it, but I think it will be a lot more automated. And also, I see that in the long run as well, a lot of the small to medium-sized businesses is adopting influencers. So I think Dawn also mentioned before she's experiencing that as well. So a lot of the small and mid-sized businesses, they're all moving towards the influencer space as well. Just because they realize now, because of the pandemic, this is an easy way to create content. So, and also like a more cost-efficient way to create content as well. And I think they will all flock to a platform like us, or a platform that's enable them to run the campaign themselves. So that's how I see it as well. And I also see like a lot of partnering between platforms will be happening as well. So for example, theAsianparent can maybe like merge the API with Impact, right? So there's like different kind of
absolutely
that we can partner as well. So yeah, that's how I see the trend is going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jessica, what you just said, actually, that was, exactly how we're seeing, like you said, from the awareness level now going down to conversion level. That's happening around the world. And the influencers are not only helping the brands building awareness, building the impression, and then building, initial touch points, but also for Dawn kind of influencer, you have very deep engagement with your audience. The audience really trusts you from your circle. So you have a really good trust relationship with them. And then if something that you use, they happen to need it, if you just put a deep link in your, in your picture or something that they can directly buy, that is a conversion. That is actually happening a lot on our Impact platform with a lot of the partners we're engaging with. So it's really awesome to speak with you. And then Jessica, you're definitely very insightful about the industry and space. You're forward thinking. I think we're definitely, I feel like I want to have another session with both of you privately and talk about, how we can work together, because we have couple of brands just signed up with us for cross-border. They're going to global markets. They're in the baby product brands. So, you know, if you're interested, I'll have my I'll reach out to you and see if you want to adopt a couple of Chinese brands. But they're going global. It's not for the Chinese audience. It's for the global markets to help them, you know, break the world, break through to the world. Anyway, yeah. Awesome. I guess that's all the time we have today. So I want to express my gratefulness for your time and look forward to connect with both of you. I'm going to drop you an invite on LinkedIn. So hope to connect with you both. So
perfect. Okay.
Very nice meeting with you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us
Thank you.
to the panel.